seriously. I mean, if we think about where this whole information age is taking us, yeah, social media, wonderful. The internet, magnificent. We never would have come as far as we've come in the last 20 years without the internet and without even social media and the exchange of ideas. But like everything in life, with something positive, there's always the dark side. It's like a George Lucas movie, isn't it? We've got the force and we've got the dark side. But we are starting to learn that the dark side is even darker than the good is good. The force is good. I mean, if you start thinking how this thing can be used for trafficking, yes, it was good for, if we think of things like George Floyd. If it wasn't for social media and Floyd was killed in the street by that cop, it wouldn't have got out if it hadn't been for social media. News is taking the lead from social media, not the other way around. So that story got out because we had some devious or some bloody, I don't know what, that sat there and videoed the whole thing. I mean, hello, making snuff movies on the pavement, isn't it? But anyway, and that thing went out, and that sparked the outrage, which was indignation to police brutality. That was what the issue should have been. It shouldn't have been raised. But anyway, it got jumped on by all sides that could spin, develop both positive and negative spin, and play sides against each other. And social media being so prolific and making every single person an expert, whether it's true or false, just divided. No one is sitting back and thinking like, well, is there value? What is the truth? Well, everyone is wanting to find the truth, but they're wanting to find their version of the truth. They don't want to consider the other side or even meet halfway. It's their version and our version of the truth. And this is what happened because this is what we want to believe. And this is just pulling everything apart. Again, it went on to the whole Antifa and the right-wing fights in the States. Again, that was leverage. Don't tell me some little girl is going to jump up and crap on the bonnet of a car without social media there just because she's striking. I mean, wow. It's crazy. But anyway, she did. But social media is there. It puts it on the global stage, and people start basing their opinions on this hysteria and this insanity and aligning themselves with this. And with hurtful comments like wake up and insulting to each other and creating world movements and world opinions, unsubstantiated, unjustified, and hateful, short-sighted, and not going anywhere. And I think this is really, really dangerous. And this is where we're coming with this, the whole, this app. The virus, the jury's still out where this thing started. But was this thing used, either orchestrated or being used to lock down society? If we think in the Boer War, they put people in concentration camps when they were getting unruly. Whenever society becomes unruly, they've always contained them. They lock them down into places where they can be controlled and disciplined, or make sure they don't get out of hand. That is what's happened on virtual space. Social media and the censorship or polarizing of opinions on the internet, and also allowing opinions through which incite hate. So things that are coming from a point of common sense are being eradicated or dissolved out of the equation, and opinions that are hateful are coming through. Don't ask me how that works. But we are no longer using this. The internet has unfortunately made us more superstitious and then witch hunters in the Middle Ages. We don't trust everyone, every opinion we see. We don't even assemble or assess whether it's fake news or real news because it all looks so good. I mean, the whole QAnon movement and all of these people with this whole pedophile and child trafficking. Yes, of course, it's terrible, terrible, terrible. But the people that are sharing the information, are they just fixated on the gruesome and the macabre, or are they interested in this getting sorted out? Because spreading the visuals and stuff is not for spreading the solution. It's people, you shouldn't look at this. I know, I looked at it. I couldn't sleep for 3 days. Don't look at it. But if you are wanting to look at it, here is the actual address. But don't look at it. It's gruesome. I can tell you, come on, for God's sake. This is nonsense. But people believe it. It's like the whole of You magazine and Sun magazine. People are all on the internet and they are grasping and grabbing onto these things, the dark side of society and the dark side of humanity, and ballooning them way out of a way of solving it. It's just becoming sensational, and we are bypassing the important things, like, are we being herded? Are we being controlled? And are we being set up so that our liberties are curtailed further and further, like frogs in a pot of boiling water, that we're not even noticing it? And we are believing that it is in our interest. COVID is dangerous, there's no doubt about it. But it is not as dangerous, near as dangerous, as we thought a year ago or 6 months ago. Not near as dangerous. It is contagious, but it seems like the protocols work. Wear your mask, wash your hands, and social distancing. Yes, there will be contagion, but very limited compared to if we just walk around and going as though we're back in the zoo, you know. But the response, the reaction on the global stage was completely disproportionate, completely out of kilt with what the reality was. And all the spin that was spun from all sides to keep us double guessing and on the back foot succeeded. And we are now in a position where we don't know what to believe, so we are talking to each other, and when things like this app come and get thrown across the table at us, we don't even look because we're so busy engaging on all the nonsense. Keep it real, have a look, and work out how this is going to help. How it's going to help COVID, how it's going to help society, and what it's going to do to your liberties and those of future generations.